Hello, my name is Cornett, and today we're going to be talking about building bridges. In the book, Bridge Engineering by W.F. Chin, he stated that bridges are like fingerprints, and that they're all different. So today we're going to talk about how to build them from the ground up. There's basically 3 steps to building a bridge. The first step is the excavation. The excavation is done according to the engineer design plan, which is preparing the ground for the footings. And say this was not water here, this was ground here, the footings are below the ground. The second step is the construction of the substructure. The substructure is everything below this red line here down. Substructure consists of the footings, which is below the ground here, the columns, which have the yellow marks, and the caps, which are right here, to support the top part of the bridge. All these are installed per the engineer design plans, and they are inspected according to the Georgia Department of Transportation Bridge, Culvert, and Retaining Wall Construction Manual. When these are put in place, we start with the footing. The footing is put in place. The steel rebar will be put in. It'll be formed up, and concrete will be poured. When the concrete's poured, the DOT inspector takes samples, concrete cylinders, which are sent to the DOT lab, where they are tested for strength. Once this process is done and we get a passing test from the DOT lab, then we go to the next step. The next step will be pouring the column. Steel is installed. It's inspected by the DOT inspector per the DOT manual. Concrete is formed up, then the concrete is poured. When the concrete is poured, again, tests are taken of that concrete. And we can't go to the next step until we get a passing sample from the lab. When we get that passing sample from the lab, then the caps are installed. The steel is put into place. The contractors form it up. The concrete is poured. Again, same process. We do the testing samples. When the samples are returned with a passing test, then we go to the next step. So that's completing the footing, column, caps. That's completion of the substructure. The third and final part is called the superstructure. That's everything above this red line here. Superstructure. Superstructure consists of the beams and the deck itself, and also the barrier wall that keeps people from driving off the side, believe it or not. The beams are installed. They're usually constructed off-site, and they're brought in by transfer truck. On site, they've already been pre-inspected and they meet all the specifications of the Georgia Department of Transportation. And when they're brought on site, they're lifted with cranes and put into place. They sit on top of the caps. They span between the caps. After they're put in place, then the contractors go ahead and they put in what's called the pans. And the pans are welded and added to the bottom. They go in between the beams. Once they're installed and inspected and they get a passing grade, then the next step will be putting in the steel. When the steel is installed, the concrete deck is poured. When the concrete poured, same thing. We're going to do concrete test. When we get back a passing sample, then we go to the next step, which will be putting in the barrier wall. Barrier wall is the same way. Steel goes in per the DOT manual. Concrete's poured. Test samples are taken. We get back a passing test sample from the lab. We go to the next step, which will be grooving. Grooves are cut into the bridge deck. This is a picture here of the bridge deck. Flat look. Grooves are cut into the deck so that water can drain off of the deck, so that we can still have traction. Then after that, the lines are installed, and the bridge will be open for public travel. As you can see, the Georgia Department of Transportation does everything within that they can to inspect these bridges and ensure that they're done properly to protect traveling public and always keep their safety in mind. Thank you for your attentiveness.